All right, what's good, people? What's good? What's good? What's good, man? Listen, it is 8 o'clock, another Thursday, another edition of the Roundtable Talk podcast. So we got I think one more person we waiting on that's gonna hop in. Sinister 401 should be showing up at some point. But until he does, we just gonna continue to move forward. So with that being said, let's go ahead and play the intro real quick. There it is, man. There it is. I like it. That's kind of smooth. But you know how we get down, man. Want to welcome everybody to the Thursday edition of our platform. But before we kick it off, man, we're gonna do like we always do, and go around the horn and let the people introduce themselves. We're gonna start it out with the Queen, man. CeCe, go ahead and give him the intro.
Hey everybody, I'm CeCe. As y'all know, the founder, the CEO of Where It Begins magazine. As y'all see it in the back, we do interviews, podcasts, media, all that good stuff. And I am ready to see what these topics is about for our podcast show. Let's get it.
Good stuff, man. I'm interested to see as well. I want to know how y'all gonna react to some of these topics today. But Matt, go ahead and hit him with the intro.
Yeah, man. Your boy Mac, co-founder of Brainstorm Productions, DUG Entertainment, and an advocate of these current issues that's going on in the world right now. So let's put them on the table and talk about them.
Yeah, man. That's why we all here. We definitely we show up every Thursday to do that exact same thing. Again at 8 p.m., man. But Shay Queen, go ahead and give him your intro. You're on mute, Shay Queen. You gotta come off mute to give all them hearts, man. You want us to hear your heart.
All love from Heart of Georgia, sweet Georgia Peach, Shade Queen, here to talk and give my 2 cents on these wonderful topics. So I'm looking forward to it, to hear what everybody has to talk about. I'm excited.
For sure. All right, man. We got a new person joining us to discuss these very serious issues today. I'm gonna pull her up on the screen and let her introduce herself, and also let me know what name you want to go by. That's a very long name for me over here on this end, but make it simple for me.
Hey everybody, my name is Natifa Mustafa, aka a chick that hustles, aka Chase Banks, aka Blockchain Bay, aka Mom. Social justice activist, educator, and just an outspoken, opinionated person in general. Looking forward to the conversation for tonight. You can just call me Tifa though.
No, I can call you a chick that hustles. I like that. I ain't want to mispronounce it. That was a lot of letters to throw at me real fast, man. Make it easy for your boy over here. It's been a long week already, but we gonna get it done, man. So let me go big stream, man. Let me do my thing a little bit. So what up, man? This your boy Theo ImodelBooth. If you're not familiar, man, we are coming from the Round Table Music Facebook group. And we're broadcasting to you live today, man. We come live to you about 3 times a week right now. Schedule runs Wednesday at 8 p. We bring you the Music Trivia Night Show. Thursday, which is where you at right now, we're going to bring you our podcast version of what we do, where we really break down some important issues. And then catch us on Sunday, man, where we do our music reviews a little bit different than anybody else. But yeah, so if you're not familiar with me personally, I'm the owner of our Model Booth Games. Check us out, man, in your app store. Got some dope stuff I think you kind of like if you run across it. We also do photo booths locally around the area as well. But yeah, this is what we do, man. So appreciate everybody for rocking with us. And before we start, man, this brings us to a very good time. We already got a comment in there. So anybody that's watching us live or watching us on the recast, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we're also broadcasting live on YouTube through Where It Begins. Through that YouTube page as well as IModelBooth Games. So definitely, man, give us a like, give us a follow. All those things are free. And if you know anything about us, we always yell and support, man. Support is free in a lot of cases. And in this one, it is. So, just go ahead and click that button. But if you are watching us and you want us to kind of shout you out, we love participation from our crowd. Go ahead and over to StreamYard and give it permission so that we could use your likeness and your name. So in this particular case, Nika Max said, "Hey y'all, hey Nika,
What's
glad
up,
appreciate you for checking in and rocking with us." Let's see, we got another. We got Tavy. Tavy says, "Hey from work. What up, Tavy? Sound like you out there getting it, man. Keep getting them dollars, love." But yeah, go to streamyard.com/Facebook. And again, enter your information in, give it permission so we can, shout you out like we just did those good people. But without further ado, man, I'm interested to see y'all's reactions when we get into these comments today. Excuse me, the comments are popping up like crazy. But when we get into these topics today, I'm interested to kind of go around the horn and see the feedback on it. So let's see. We're gonna kick it off with what y'all feeling, man? Y'all feeling saucy? Y'all feeling a little light? What y'all want to do with it? Don't matter.
we out here.
All right.
Whatever
I'm
you
ready to
say,
go.
let's go.
Okay.
See?
If y'all want.
But if it's up to me, I like the saucy. Bring the
Okay.
saucy to me.
Okay. Well, hey, the queen asked for the saucy, man. I'm gonna go ahead and take two more comments, and then we're gonna pour that sauce off in the pot. So, Facebook user, don't know who you are, Facebook user. Go to streamyard.com/Facebook. Enter your information in, and we'd love to shout you out. But she said, "Hey, April." And then I don't know if this is the same person, but another Facebook user said, "Hey, y'all, what up? What up, Facebook user? Appreciate you for rocking with us, man. We definitely love all the support." So yeah, man, let's we're gonna get into something a little saucy. We're gonna get into a little something saucy. I'm gonna put a little tease up there for y'all, man, so you know the direction that your boy about to take you into. One of my favorite people, favorite topics right now is definitely Lori and Michael B. And a lot of people are buzzing about that on the internet right now, man. The whole internet is going crazy. But what I want to do is, man, I want you to kind of hear somebody else putting the story together for us at what happened at the end for it, and then we're gonna stop this periodically and just kind of break it down. So if any of our people on the panel, if you got something to say and I don't stop it, man, throw your hand up. It'll stop the traffic. But let's go.
So Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan have officially broken up, and the fans are having a field day talking about it. And rumor has it that Michael B. Jordan popped the question, but Lori said no. Why would anyone say no to Michael B. Jordan of all people? Lori, girl, you better have a great reason, cause ain't no way you doing my man Michael B. like that. In case you somehow haven't heard, Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan have been confirmed to have broken up after dating for more than a year. And I'm not gonna lie, this relationship was kind of doomed from the very start, cause many fans did not buy into the relationship from the very start. But don't get me wrong, I know that many fans thought that they made a really cute couple because they looked really cute together. But the fans just really didn't buy their love story because they thought that something seemed fishy about it. You know, the part about how Michael B. Jordan needed a black girlfriend to convince his fans that he did like black women, and Lori needed a man that had Michael B. Jordan's great reputation because she has been known to date some questionable men in the past.
All right, man. Put the brakes on right there. Put the brakes on right there. Let's talk about it for a quick second, man. What do y'all think? What was y'all's feelings about this, man? They seem to be kind of Black America's sweetheart couple. You got a power player and Michael B. Jordan, one of the hottest in Hollywood. You got Lori. She got a name. She been on the block for a minute. But overall, I want to get some feedback, man. Did it hit you? Did you care? Were you affected when this news came out, or was it just like, a regular Tuesday for you?
I
All right,
mean,
I'll go out there and jump in there.
okay,
Go ahead.
So I was not affected by this news at all. I think it makes perfect sense that they broke up because he's so much older than her, and he's at the age I think that men should really start thinking about settling down and getting married. So it made sense for him. It did not make sense for her to marry
Okay.
him at her age at this time. I think it's real easy to dive into that PR campaign as a reason for it to not have worked. It looked genuine to me though, and I don't think that either one of them were really playing the game. I think maybe she wanted something light and fun but monogamous. I think he wanted something serious, and it just didn't work for him.
She definitely give them fun girl vibes. So I see what you're saying.
Girls just want to have fun. That's what she said, girl.
Women's liberation. I get it.
I don't really think it's women's lib though. I don't really think that's it, because all women ain't out there just putting it out like that. No, don't do that. I don't think that's just women's lib.
Well, in fairness, though, when women's lib was popping off, I don't think 100% participated. 100% never participated in anything. So that's the beauty and the downfall of certain things in this country. So you can't say all or nothing on anything.
Right, but I don't think women's lib was to get out in the streets though. Like, I don't think that necessarily was the plan. You know, when I showed up, I didn't have on "We for the Streets" t-shirt at the march. That's not what we had on. No.
I don't think So first of all, let me say this: all opinions expressed on this program are of the actual guests themselves.
Yes,
none of them,
absolutely,
none of them are condoned by the house. We have our own opinions. But let me say this, man: when Women Lib popped out, it was all about liberation. It was all about freedom. It was all about the right for a woman to do what she wanted to do, and she clearly out there doing what she wanted to do.
I guess that's fair enough,
but I can see where you're coming from there.
Right. Yeah, I see. Okay. I kind of see what you're saying. I'm just saying I don't think that was the whole movement.
Okay. Just don't come at me, man. I support everybody's freedoms. But let's dive back into this thing real quick.
Diddy, Future, Diddy's son. Oh my God. And in true Lori style, it looks like this baby girl has moved on again, because she has taken down every single picture she posted with Michael B. Jordan on it. And if you've been following Lori for a while, then you'll know that this is how she moves after a breakup. She takes down the pictures ASAP, and it's like the person didn't even exist. Baby girl wastes no time moving on, and I'm loving that for her. Plus, y'all know what?
Hold on, man. Hold on. She skipped that part so quickly.
I'm talking about, girl, be moving. The mouth be moving.
She skipped that part so quickly. Listen, man, you don't just be tossing up Future on your resume and then toss up Diddy on your resume, and you skipped over the fact that the son came first on your resume. That's a movement. That's a movement.
Can we take a moment to pause?
Okay.
Because when I heard that, I was like, so we not just dating men, we dating daddies too? Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that's a whole different level of freedom.
And why not?
Listen, man, when you start out in the mail room, eventually you want to get up to the penthouse, right? You want to be on the top floor.
No, sir. I just think,
I don't know. I kind of feel like she might have faked that dating with them.
With Diddy or with the son?
Diddy or the son?
With the son, because sometimes how it is with that social media stuff. So she might have been with Diddy the whole time before it really got out there.
Fair enough. And I think that's a good question, Atifa. Let's qualify dating, because I don't know a lady, but a lot of people have stated that when she starts dating someone, she puts it on Instagram, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So when we say dating, do we mean like we just went out, we just happen to be on the red carpet together? Are we talking about we smashing and going on trips together?
I think Tavy answered the question. It's just my opinion. She comes from, newly founded money, and she is definitely finding money while she out there.
But don't we find it, and I'm going to shut up so that Matt can speak. Don't we find it a little odd that she's the daughter of a man who's trying to tell women how they're supposed to act? But that ain't my business.
He does say, he says, think like a lady.
Don't go by with somebody else. Right? She got her own character.
So she is the daughter of somebody that comes from money, that has money, but that's his adopted daughter.
Oh, that ain't his daughter.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
she
no,
came into the
still
money,
raised her, though. He
and
still
so now she got that sense of entitlement where she just running through dudes. You know what I'm saying? Soccer player Memphis DeBay in 2016, she was engaged to that guy, man, to 2017. That's only 1 year. And then she called it off. Went from there, she went right to racing driver Lewis Hamilton. And then called that off. Went from there to Trey Songz, called that off. And then she went to Justin Combs, Diddy's son, and then called that off, and then with the Diddy and got rid of that, man. Like,
so when you asking us to define dating, there's some type of relationship involved, right? Like to the point where she feels like she wants to put this information out on social media. So I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. I got assumptions, but we don't know. We do know that they were serious enough to make it public. So you do have to, you have to check the resume, man. Everybody need to do their research before they just run up on something. But real quick, man, let's take a couple comments. Like Jay Madison said, dating the saddies. I think that was daddies or diddies. I don't know, but either way, she know. Also, Tavy said, look at the type of woman that Steve married, though. Well, and that's the mama of the person that we're talking about right now. And she mad messy. She's mad messy on social media. Both of them, her and Steve, mad messy after this.
Oh, okay. Fair
So,
enough.
Can I just make one more statement, though?
Go ahead.
Again, she is, what, 25, 26 years old?
She's 25.
All of these relationships that are public and that we're saying she's running through, she could not
Son
have
and daddy. Okay.
10 years, maybe, if she started at 17, 16. Can you really judge her for not wanting to marry someone at 19 or for jumping from relationship to relationship from 17 to 26? I mean,
I think I get that point. So she's still young enough where she's trying to figure it out, right? And Michael B. Jordan is old enough where he done went through all of that young stuff we done been through, and he's ready to settle down. But once I pop the question to you, can we say we're gonna leave it on the back burner for a little bit and we'll think about it and keep our relationship going until you figure it out? You don't just dead the relationship and then take all my pictures off social media.
Well, you do if you move like that, and what she's saying is she has a history. So let's get back to the video, and she'll break some more of that down for us.
What I say about celebs deleting pictures off of Instagram. Once the pictures get taken down, then it's a sign that there is trouble in paradise. But Michael B. Jordan, on the other hand, still has his pictures of Lori up, including pictures where he declared his love for her. I find this kind of sweet because it looks like to me he isn't exactly moving on yet. And unlike Lori, Michael B. Jordan's previous relationships have been pretty low-key, so we don't know how he moves after a breakup. But on the breakup, a source told People magazine, Michael and Lori are both completely heartbroken. They still love each other. Michael matured a lot over the course of their relationship and was ready to commit for the long term. He let down his guard with her, opening up emotionally in a romantic relationship for the first time. They had great times together and brought out the best in each other. Now,
CeCe, who wrote that? Was that his publicist or was that her publicist that wrote that statement?
I don't know. I don't know, but I just feel like in this situation with these two, I mean, she young, she having fun, and kind of remind me of a J-Lo, hey, if one dude don't do right, go to the next one. The next one won't do right, go to the next one. Hey, she just living her life.
She reminds
hey, you ain't making me happy. On the market, she's a nice looking lady, and she just doing her thing, having her fun.
Listen, happy is a relative state. I think if you're the type of person that doesn't want to settle down, why publicly flaunt in our face that you're settled down with somebody different all the time? If you want if you want to do what you want to do and be behind closed doors and be a party girl, then we're not having this conversation right now. But I think once you start to put it out there in public and get more stature because of that, i.e., in it for the hype, then you end up in situations like this where we discussing your business.
And I agree with you, Theo, and that's what I think. Hindsight being 2020, I do believe that she has a right at any time to decide who she does and she doesn't want to be with, right? I mean, I walked away from a wedding 5 months before it was planned. So, hey, whatever. That's my scandal. Okay. But all that to say, when you put your business out, we're going to be in it. So get over it. And I think what you said is you're establishing, I'm with these guys and they're high profile. So you must want the attention. So you're getting it now, unfortunately. I
She
mean,
is, man. She is and no disrespect when I say this because people take the term the wrong way. She's an Instagram model. And she's leveraging what she has to get to what she wants. So, many businessmen and women do that same strategy. The difference is we're kind of going off public persona because you're a public person. All of your money is coming in from what you're doing to attract us to your brand. You're not selling an actual product. Well, she is, right? But overall, she's not known for her businesses or her business acumen. She's known for this.
but did you see the part where they were saying in the beginning that they didn't think that it was genuine because
I
he
want to
doesn't
talk about
like
that. Yep.
he doesn't. I'm assuming because I don't know much about him. When I see him, I see The Wire. He's still a little boy to me. Okay, I know. Hey, I don't see him as a sexy guy that everybody else. I see him in The Wire in the hood. I digress. But they were saying, I guess that he liked, I suppose, white women. So I guess they were thinking that he got her so that he could say that black love was real. But I'm thinking, why would you choose her out of all the black women in your circle if you know that she likes to, leave no stone unturned, for lack of a better term? I'm just wondering, ain't my business. I'm just saying, you
All
got
right.
the whole pick of the litter and you chose her.
Hey, listen. Let's see what the comments are saying, man. And Madison came back said to clarify, Sadie is son and daddy. So I get it now. I get it. And yeah, she probably got a tattoo to say that. And Facebook user, go to streamyard.com/Facebook. Give it permission, man. We want to shout you out. Facebook user said, but if someone proposes and you don't want to get married, I think the right thing to do is to dead that shit. Because why keep walking with somebody when you're not trying to go to the same place? Yeah, I get it, man. If y'all not on the same path, then why prolong it? But it does kind of bring up more questions than answer. Doris Fox said she gives me H vibes. Okay. Anyway, love you, mama. Thank you for checking in. Facebook user also said, hey, a chick that hustled. Yeah, she definitely is a hustler, man. She got track shoes on all day. And then Tavy said, and who's to say that she doesn't get paid for all of this on her social media? No, she does. She does, Tavy. And that's my point. If she's bringing in her revenue first and foremost by the attention that you pay to her, and you're not physically paying for a product, she's leveraging that for endorsements. She's leveraging that to be a spokesperson. She's leveraging that to put out her own products and services. And that's where I was going with that. She's leveraged this whole thing so that we're talking about it right now, right? She suddenly became important, and she hadn't done much more than Kim K did, but you see what that did for Kim K. So, I don't want to talk bad about it. I just want to put the truth out there.
Sounds like some smart hustling to me.
But is that
smart?
Listen,
I mean, because the reality is we don't know that she's sleeping with all of these men. We just know that she's dating them. They're being seen in public. They're being seen together. We can assume that she was sleeping with Michael B. Jordan because of how much affection we saw them display publicly. But we don't know the nature of the relationship she's had with all these men. So we can't really assume that she's a host. She's a young person dating. And she's using that to maximize monetary benefit.
That's a very mature answer, and I.
It's not. She slept with all of them.
One part of me wants to agree, but I'm like,
first of all, Future took a shot at her on Maybach. You go back and listen to Future's feature on Maybach. He's talking about her. But you know what I'm saying? And Michael B. Jordan in an interview has told you, man, finally found what love was. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nobody that just went out on a date with you, man. I was up in that.
So I But I'll say this to her credit. Well, so let me address that. Right, you said we don't know that she's sleeping with anyone. We don't know what they're doing behind closed doors, but we can assume that the positive thing going in her direction. A lot of these relationships she spent, a year or so in. I guess she treated like the new age. I call it the new age employee. Right, the new age employee wants to get in there, put a year in, and then wants to move up. So I guess that's part of her employment strategy that she's laying out, and she's been kind of moving around. So you kick it with me for a year, I'm pretty sure we doing some horizontal things, and that's I assume anybody else is going down like that too.
I'm gonna say this. One of my lifetime OES sisters, love her to death. She always tells me she's 70 plus years old, and she said her mama used to always tell me, a man can go out and roll around in the dirt and come back in the house and get cleaned up. A woman can't do the same thing. Now, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that's right. So please don't come for me. But it is a double standard. So if you just have to understand there is a consequence. If you want to get out here and act like a dude, you're probably not going to be accepted the same way.
Listen, man.
Just being
You,
honest.
you got that sad man sitting right beside you. He looking so sad. He can't take the stuff off his social media. He can't let it go, man. And I get it, right? 35, 25, there's a 10-year age gap, but that doesn't seem to, scare her off previously. I think it's more of the commitment part that she seems to be a little scared of. So it does bring me to a quick question before we get into our next session. Is the modern day woman afraid of commitment? So much in the media, man, tells the women empowerment. You could do it by yourself. You don't need a man. You don't need your baby daddy. You don't, even need your father at this point. So go ahead.
I don't even think it's that. I think
Okay.
that a lot of women, especially, and now I'm speaking for older women who have been through it, right? Traumatized and don't want to make the mistake of tying or what do I call it? Hitching their wagon to a jalopy horse. They don't want to get stuck with the wrong person and end up making the same mistakes over and over again. So, like, speaking of what moms used to say, my mom always said it takes 4 seasons to really know a man because a man acts differently in the fall than he does in the spring. That's why we have cuffing season, and cuffing season ends right around the time that maxi dress season starts, right? And in those 2 seasons, or in all 4 of them, you can see a man's personality change drastically. So it makes sense to me that she stayed with the man for a year or so and then cut out because behaviors change when the temperatures start to rise. That's number one. But then number two, when you think about long-term longevity, you think about how your long-term goals align with someone else's. It may be cool to date someone and have fun with them and create memories, but then when you start thinking about where you want to be at 50 or 60, and if this person is on the same page with you, you fun to be with, but I ain't trying to be with you. That's
Hmm.
how it works. I think that's how most modern day women are thinking now.
I think it's interesting that you started out with the advice that your mom gave you against men. Something's to be
Against,
said.
I don't think is what it was. I think it was
Uh,
awareness. It
okay,
was
okay,
don't rush to judgment about a man just because you're feeling good the first 90 days. Give yourself time to get to know them,
okay. I
right?
like I
So I
like
don't
how
think
you
it's about
I
being
like how you're
against.
trying to clean that up, but that wasn't a positive statement. If I
I
said
mean,
if I said, hey, listen, man, welcome to the show, a chick that hustles, man, but be careful because we don't really know who she is. She might be all right in the first 15 minutes, and then she might be a little psycho in the last 30.
oh, that's real
You know,
advice.
you.
That's real advice that you should give someone. Don't think you know me because you've known me for 15 minutes. Don't think you know me in this one episode.
No, and I
How
get
I
that, but
am now may be different an hour from now. And so I don't think that is speaking against me as much as it is giving someone sage advice. People rush to judgment way too soon. You think you know somebody, you give them your all in a matter of days, weeks, or months. And then you find out 5 years later that who you met in the beginning ain't never coming back, ever. And you don't wasted 5 years of your life.
No, I get it, and it sounds like you've been to the support group as well. So I ain't trying to bring up no old memories, but I'll say this, man: there are way more comments and negative rhetoric about men doing bad in relationships than there are actually men to do bad in relationships. So think about that, next time when you throwing that stuff out. But let's take a couple quick comments, man. Tavy, we ain't gonna go too deep into it, but she said she was getting bent over. We all know that. And oh, you hit me with the name Aziza. 25 is young in this day of marriage. No, I agree. I agree, man. And I only agree because of this. I think when the situation is right, people know it, and everybody should move at their own pace. But at the same time, the world is telling you 25 is too young to be married. So again, take that with a grain of salt. Is everybody on the same page and it's moving us all to a positive direction? Or are people just kind of spitting out the rhetoric that they heard from other people and it's causing us to have some issues? I know I have my opinion on it, but that's just me.
Well, no, but let's not get off of that though. So I got married when I was 25. And that, that was not that long ago. And we're gonna leave it right there. I know that, but as I digress. So what do you think is a good year? What go to my mama watching. I'm sorry. I'll talk to you offline. But my question is, what is a good age then? Because they are saying that as women are becoming more educated, they're getting married later in life. So, but with that being said, you can be like me at my young supple age with children in kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? So the later you wait to have these connections, you'll be having children later. So what do you feel? Because you said you had an opinion about that. I want to hear your opinion.
No, so in general, again, I gave you my opinion starting out. I think people it's different for everybody. I don't believe. So here's me. Let me give you some insight into me. Look into my brain for a second, man. Anytime when everybody is telling you the same thing, you might want to stop and ask why. And I say that because we have a culture in this country where the media progressively pushes agendas onto you. And sometimes they're subtle. Sometimes you don't realize what it is. But when you match up what goes in the court system, what goes into the child support system, when you look at how the laws are garnered towards our men, and then you look at pairing that with the social media, how every woman is unhappy. But and you made a stab or a look at Kevin Samuels for coming up. But that's a prime example. When everybody rallies,
that was because of you doing that for what I said. It had nothing to do with Kevin Samuels.
I got you, but I knew you would lead me into my talking point. But everybody looks at him, while he was here, and unfortunately, while he's gone, with such disdain for telling the truth. I think we live in a country where when people tell the truth, often it's overshadowed by people forming against them or groups forming against them, trying to have a gang or a mob mentality. And anytime that happens, I always tell people, man, slow down and think. Are you following the mob off the cliff because that's where you were already going or where you want to go? Or are you just following the crowd and you're going to end up where they at? So
clarity, I was talking about my age and you put it up like you were trying to call me out because I was old. It had nothing, see that, excuse me, that ain't had nothing to do with him. Rest his soul. It was about you shading me. So be clear. Be clear.
Can I just piggyback on something you said real quick?
Go ahead.
I think you're right that we live in a society where when people tell the truth, a lot of times a mob gangs up on them. But also, I think we live in a society where people have allowed how you tell the truth to no longer be a factor. So you can say whatever you want, however you want, to whoever you want, and still think that nothing's going to happen. And I am of the mindset that words do hurt. I do not believe that sticks and stones may break your bones BS, because if you say the wrong thing to me, there is a great chance that I'm going to respond in a physical manner. So I think that what has happened, and I think the issue that a lot of people have with Kevin Samuels and those who speak the truth is not what they were saying, but how they were saying.
And I agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what else to put on that. I don't want to take that and lose your message on that one. But with that being said, man, let's go ahead and move into our next topic. Let's see what we got juicy here. Hey, maybe this is not so juicy, but it's very, very important. I'm gonna start it out with a question, man. I want to go around the horn real quick. Juneteenth, we just passed it, man. Very important day in our history. And before we get into a little deep dive of a quick video on it, just want to know, what did everybody do for Juneteenth?
Not enough.
I was celebrating in the hood, Washington Road Day.
Okay.
Out there with one of my besties who was celebrating her birthday, and then the next day I think it was football with the kids. So
Okay, very celebratory. I like that. I like that. What about the rest of you guys? Anything for Juneteenth before I get into what I did?
No, but I should have, and I hate the fact that it took me so long, transparency moment, to even really know about it, and its significance. And I'm just being honest, I didn't, and that just goes to show that we can't allow the school systems to teach us about our history, that we have to teach our kids and be proactive in that. So I was supposed to be in Baltimore, couldn't make it because the kids had other things going on. We were supposed to be going up to their festivals up there. So we're definitely trying to do that next year. But yeah, got to do more.
Gotcha. Max, CeCe, y'all get down for anything?
No, I went to South Carolina, came back. I was on the road, did some work, and was on our panel on Sunday. So
Okay. What about you, Matt?
Well, I just went to a little get together, man. Kicked it with a couple of my folk, and then so actually, Monday is when it's observed, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the 20th, and then so I'm back at the grind, man. It's work as usual. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how that happened in 1865, but it's only been a holiday for 3 years?
Not even that. Two years. Yeah. So let me tell you, man, I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. And I probably should be ashamed of myself. And I'm gonna feel a little bit worse after we watch this video.
Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration commemorating the ending of slavery in the United States. President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing enslaved Africans in the United States in 1862, and the 13th Amendment passed Congress, officially abolishing the institution of slavery in 1863. But it would take years for word to spread. On June 19, 1865, Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Granger landed at Galveston, Texas, with the news that the Civil War was over and the roughly 250,000 enslaved people there were now free. The orders read, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere."
All right, real quick, man. I don't want to skip over that sentence. They're supposed to work from home and work for wages. So essentially, when this came about, they were actually kind of told to stay put, stay where you at. All around, that message always comes across like it was just given to the people in Texas, right? To that 250,000 slaves that was still there. But that was actually how it was written. That's how it came down. So when they came, sweeping through the South, giving that message to the former, I guess at that point, Confederate states, they were basically telling them to stay in place. So I just wanted to know, had you guys ever known that before? When that actually came out, they told people don't move. It sounded a lot like freeze.
So I probably have a little bit more knowledge in this area because I majored in history and African American history to be more specific.
Okay.
So I did know that, and when I hear it, to me it sounds like, "Oh, you free? Stay right here though. Keep working, but just know you free.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna pay you. They gonna do right by you," which we know they have never done. So it to me it's mind boggling. It blows my mind every time I hear that It's just it tickles me. It's hilarious.
Well,
you
they
know?
couldn't let them go. I mean, because then who's gonna do the work?
And that has been historically our problem in this country. We always need our lower class to actually do the work.
That's what I'm saying. So if they leave, then that means who's gonna have to do it? Nah, not gonna do that.
Get
So.
calluses on these pretty little hands.
No, dear.
Hey, let's circle back into the video. I'll pick up a couple comments again on the other side.
You might be wondering why it took so long to spread the word. General Robert E. Lee surrendered in April 1865, but Union troops didn't arrive until June. The Emancipation Proclamation only freed enslaved Africans in the Confederate States liberated by Union troops, and that didn't include Texas. Though slaves were lawfully freed, they were far from free. Many were even punished for trying to take advantage of their new rights. One former slave recalled seeing people shot and hanged after trying to escape to freedom, and another shared an account of being asked to work another 6 years and being whipped just like she was before.
So in a lot of cases, man, again, not only freeze stay in place, they were actually entering into some indentured servitude, where some contracts were laid out as far as so let me back up for a second. All of a sudden, right, you're free. They came, told you got your freedom, you're a free man, you're a free woman, go do what you want to do, but don't leave. You need to stay right here and find somewhere to work and some things to do, and to make a living for your family. So how did we get to that? How did we not get to any real progress at that time when it was still okay lawfully for them to be beaten, to be whipped, to be persecuted like they were before? And then you enter in the fact that, again, you just drop some people off, so to speak, and they have no resources. They don't have money. They don't have land. They don't have equipment. They don't have seeds. They don't have animals. They don't have any of those things, but the ability to do the hard work. And so they had to come up with money from somewhere. So a lot of times they took loans out, right? And those loans, I don't think were at the most fair rate. So the question is, did you guys were you taught any of this in the history book previously before becoming an adult, doing your own research, that whole nine? Was any of this kind of laid out to you or taught previously before that moment, that aha moment that came in your life over this?
No, like I said, when I started with my transparency, it took me way too long to finally figure this out. And I was like, wow, I felt stupid. I devalued myself. I pulled my own black card. Mm-hmm. And I realized that, like I said, with that being said, it triggered that I need to start making sure that I'm getting in my books, because I want my children to know. And I want them to know, because even though they may be biracial, they still will be raised in this society as black children. And they need to know that, regardless of what their skin color is. It's important.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I definitely think, hold on, we got some movement. Let me see if we can get Synista 401 up, and we're going to take a couple comments. Hold on, Synista, before we get you to say anything. So Tavy said, I didn't know that. You're not alone, Tavy. A lot of people didn't. Let's see. Aziza said, but the South was necessary for Northern production, so it sounds like a compromise, a bone being thrown to Southern planners. Quick history fact, even though that slavery was ended in the North, a lot of these same tactics and same loaning principles, same way of acquiring resource issues were definitely prevalent in the North as well. But they get a little bit of a pass because I guess they were leading the charge so that we're not still slaves today. And also Tavy said, I thought about the emancipation, but not in depth like that. No, man, they definitely they breezed through it. They breezed through it very quickly. So that's why we just taking a second to talk about it today. But let's hop back into this video and probably finish this thing off.
Even though the newly freed in Texas didn't receive the full benefits of freedom, they turned the day into a celebration. June 19th was coined Juneteenth, a blending of the words June and 19th. Every year, Juneteenth became a chance for people to get together with family members, measure progress against freedom, and teach rising generations the importance of self-improvement. They would read the Emancipation Proclamation, hear sermons, share meals, and play games. And many of those same traditions carry on today in Juneteenth celebrations across the country. Texas became the first state to make Juneteenth an official holiday in 1980. Since then, 46 other states and the District of Columbia have recognized Juneteenth as a state holiday or holiday observance. Although not a federal holiday, many global companies like Twitter, Square, Nike, and Lyft have made the day a company holiday in the wake of protests to end systemic racism sparked by the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today, more than 150 years after celebrations began, June 19th is about remembering the past and moving toward a future that involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. Juneteenth, a celebration of freedom and the fight for its fulfillment.
So one amendment, obviously, right? We've since then, in the past 2 years, actually made it a federal holiday. And I always found it funny anytime I come across that fact, man, that Texas led the way with trying to make it a holiday first. Sounds like a little bit of white guilt to me, but maybe that's just me. You're the last one out, so you feel like you want to be the first one in. And then I wanted to play it even past that, that era, or outdated information, not an error at the time it was published. But it's funny that it took that event, right? It took the protests, it took the George Floyd, which is, on the list of countless different issues we have with the killing of some of our people. But it took all of that for us to get galvanized and even for a lot of our people to know about it. So as I started out by saying is I probably should be ashamed of myself for not celebrating it or and putting that much importance on it because of the fact that it said a couple things, and I saw this theme running over and over again. It was all about gathering. It was all about putting on and showing your finest clothes, coming out being the best version of yourself, and self-improvement was a theme that I saw a lot of as well. And I think those are definitely things that we need in our community today. So it's kind of, shame on me, shame on us. For not having that come to us in that type of capacity to where we feel like we can represent that today. Because I think a lot of us are not representing that to the fullest like we need to be. But yeah, I'm always interested in other people's thoughts. How old were you when you learned about Juneteenth?
Too old.
I agree. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Shout out to my parents, my mom especially, because I grew up in a household where Black history was taught and celebrated on a very regular, I see you, April, on a very, very regular basis. And so I grew up probably more educated in the area of Black history than most people. Also, I went to all Black schools most of my life here in Atlanta. And like even in high school, we had an African American history class that I was able to take. So I think I'm very fortunate in that I had people around me who were always kind of drilling in my head the beauty of Blackness and the importance of knowing where we come from. And also just knowing some of those little details that they won't teach you in school, not necessarily because they don't want you, because as a teacher, I know you can't fit everything in. So sometimes that's the issue. And sometimes depending on who's teaching you, they just don't care for you to know. But so for me,
Exactly.
a lot of this stuff I knew at a very young age, I knew about at a very young age. And I'm grateful for that.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. What about you, CeCe?
I wanted to say, when I was living up north in the New England area, there was no talk about Juneteenth, nothing within the schools, even in the urban community, nothing that had to deal with Black history. It's only when I moved to Texas in Houston, I started getting word about what Juneteenth was. I would hear about it amongst the college crowd. And then when I came into Atlanta, I want to say the first week when I got here, I met a guy who put me on to it. And that's how I had to find out. But it goes to show you how some places, they suppress our Black history. There's so much, Juneteenth's just the start of what they're hiding amongst our Black history. Especially inventions. People don't even know that Black people built everything. Everything we do is derived from some Black folk stuff.
A lot
And
of
they
them are.
stolen us. Here's a little quick fact. Real quick fact. People don't even know mac and cheese was invented by a black man. He was in France. He needed to make pasta. He made pasta. They ran out of the sauce. He was like, why don't we put cheese? Because I seen this done in Italy because pasta was famous in Italy and they put the cheese over there. Everybody liked it. The businessman went back to America and used that. Don't that sound familiar to how peanut butter was stolen from us? George Washington Carver. So, of course, they're going to be like, yeah, we'll give them Juneteenth to celebrate. We've been stealing all their stuff. So let's give them a holiday so they could just shut up for a little bit. They got FBI files saying that. Black folks black folks get black folks. J. Edgar Hoover in the FBI files is documented, public documentation that let black folks, they're going to protest for 3 days and then they'll be quiet. So don't worry. It's only when they vandalize your property then you go in for the attack. The downtown incident. My bad. I just had to go there. But yeah, there's a lot of deep stuff with Juneteenth. It's all of a sudden in one of the worst American times, they showing love to Juneteenth.
Right.
No,
That's
it's not.
slavery because that's clearly what they're trying to do to you.
That's strategic.
What?
I have a question though.
Go ahead.
And I'm not trying to hijack it, but I do have a question.
Go ahead.
So I have been seeing people who he already told me. I've been seeing people talking about the commercialization, I guess I could say, of it. Okay. So one of the it was Walmart that they had the Juneteenth ice cream.
Juneteenth ice cream.
I did not partake in that luxury. But
they stole that recipe from a black-owned company. Sorry, my bad.
Okay. With that being, shame on you, Walmart. Shame on you. However, my question is then, and it kind of loops back to what you were saying earlier, Theo. Shame on us for not really celebrating. But since it's new and since we're aware or becoming more aware, how do we celebrate? And what are we going to allow to come to the cookout? Like, are we gonna buy the Juneteenth plates and cups? Are we going to how do we celebrate it?
I can't tell you that. I think that's for everybody individually to figure out. But I would say this: it would be nice if it was celebrated on a national level, and I actually had black companies that I could personally support for those sort of things, right? And that goes back to part of the problem that we have as a people. We don't support each other in that manner. Either we don't know about it, or in a lot of cases, we just choose to spend our money elsewhere. So how to celebrate it, I don't know. But as long as you are, doing it in good faith, doing it in a good spirit, and you are spreading the message that's behind it, again, that self improvement, that gathering of family, that celebrating and remembering part of it. I think that's the essence of what we're supposed to do. Now, if you want to put on something nice while you're doing it, hey, I support that. We need to bring that back. Statistically, it's shown that less people get shot when people dress nice. But with that being said, let's take a couple comments real quick. So Aziza said, I was always taught that tink came from former slaves not knowing what date they were actually free. And I've heard that as well, definitely. But when I say I've heard that as well, that's probably, 10-year-old knowledge to me. It definitely didn't go back to the school books. Facebook user said they found out when they were 13. Another Facebook user also said in Mississippi, we celebrated during my teens and they stopped, but this year they started back celebrating. And you do hear a lot of cases like that happening where they were celebrating at some point, but for whatever reason it died out. In particular, when you guys get the chance, do some research on Emancipation Park in Texas. And you'll kind of get a little bit of a backdrop of how that was the first publicly owned space by Black people in the state of Texas, because they weren't allowed to gather in other places. They started to shut it down as it became more popular, because as more people gather with good intentions of spreading information, that becomes a problem with people who want to keep you uneducated. Right. Take one more quick comment. Aziza said, my problem is they made Juneteenth a federal holiday, but they want to talk about history in schools. I feel you. How do you have one and not the other? But as our government and as our media has shown countless times before, you put up You put up one thing and you smoke screen them with the other. So, just like somebody just mentioned with the Walmart, right? I've heard both sides of that before. Walmart quickly pulled their red swirled into vanilla ice cream with cheesecake bites or whatever they had in it amidst the protest that they were capitalizing on Black people's holiday. But what I've heard also from a lot of people is the real story is that they had stolen the recipe from a Black company and that was going to be a bad look for them. So you put it out to the media that, oh, my bad, we messed it up. You get out in front of it and then we're not talking about it later. So that's definitely been a corporate strategy that's going on for years.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
If people who are not Black get to have paid time off, is it really Black people's holiday?
It's a win is a win, right? If we do what we're supposed to do, the government can only do so much. Well, they can do a lot more. We ain't gonna get into that. But meaning, as far as this holiday, right? They're lacking the education in the school, but add it to the list, right? We got a whole lot of things that we should be educated on. The other part of it is though, making it a federal holiday and having it to be observed is our job at that point to go out and educate each other and educate our kids so that it does get to the prominence that it needs to be. Because right now, Black people don't care about Juneteenth. I'm just going to keep it real. Black people don't know about it and they don't care about it. And the ones that are educated know about it and they're going out to gather with the passion behind it. The rest of us might just be trailing because we want to go to a party. And that's not the spirit of what it should be in my opinion.
That's fair enough.
I
But
celebrated with fireworks and a barbecue last year.
Okay, that sounds good. I was kind of.
Can I say something real quick?
I'm sorry.
Hold on, Synista. Let them finish. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was kind of taken back because, like I tell everybody, I'm from the heart of Georgia, and if you don't know, I'm not in Macon. I'm from Macon, but I'm in Warner Robins, Georgia, which is very small. It's like right off of it, and our local news station was talking about it. And there was an article and there were people showing their faces. I won't name them here. But if I find the article, I'll probably share it on my page. Well, there were people showing their faces and making comments saying it's a fake holiday. Mm-hmm. And they were not Black. And I was like, y'all bold. Like y'all are really out here with the knowledge that you have. It's not like this was made up.
That's the problem. The knowledge gap is the problem. Think about this. If I'm a regular white person, I don't know what that really means, but I'm gonna throw it out there like that, right? I'm a regular average white person and the Black people around me are not celebrating a Black holiday. I might think MLK Day is fake. I might think Juneteenth is fake. I might think Kwanzaa doesn't exist.
Not at this day and age. If you are on the Book of Faces as we speak, you have more than enough resources to say that is a fake. So the government just came up with a fake holiday and just said, yeah, we're going to, that's bananas. That's ignorance. And it's ridiculous.
It is ignorance, but I don't think you believe the power of the bubbles that people live in, right? Everybody lives in their own bubble.
Yes, I do. No,
you do, but you live in a different bubble than I do. And we both live in a different bubble than those people you're talking about do. So in respect to that, man, there's a lot of different bubbles where people are just talking amongst their own circle. If I'm just making in jokes all day with my other racist friends, right, I don't see how that affects you. And I do believe that part is real because there's a lack of empathy because there's a lack of education. But go ahead, Synista. We cut you off. Go ahead and get off real quick.
All right, let me say this real quick. In terms of Juneteenth, I actually was part of a Juneteenth parade a few years ago. Me and my peoples, they had it set up for one of the stage plays, Schaefer Productions, When a Man Knows. And where I thought I was supposed to be within the parade, because it goes down in Mosley Park all the way to downtown. My people wasn't there, so I had to walk all the way through the parade. That's one of the best experiences I've ever seen. A bunch of Black folks.
Think we lost him on a bunch of Black folks. It sounded like he was about to be good. Hey, let's take a couple quick comments, man. Doris said, this has been a very informative discussion. I'm truly enjoying it. Hey, man, we try to laugh and, talk cash money sometimes, but we got some serious things that we need to discuss as a people. So you're definitely going to get some of that here. Aziza said, I disagree that black people don't care. I think they don't know. I think we're saying the same thing, Aziza. I don't truly think in their hearts of hearts they're ignoring it because they don't care. It's definitely a lack of education, and particularly not just making it a federal holiday or any type of holiday, but we're not being provided the actual education that goes behind it. So you see how deep that it goes, and you realize the significance. Facebook user said facts. I don't know which one they talking about, but yeah, man, they all facts up here, and these facts are hard. And Nika said, great question about observing Juneteenth. Better question, how do we energize our community to observe and celebrate our history in February?
Yes.
So, going to Black History Month. Hey, let me tell you this, though. Here's why I feel people, these conspiracy theories or people who live in the bubble who say Juneteenth is a sham. Look at how it's laid out. Look how close it's laid out to Father's Day. Look how close it's laid out to the 4th of July. Some of that, again, maybe coincidence just because that's the date of how it went, but I don't think they had a problem giving it to us because they realize how it's going to be overshadowed by those other holidays as well. So you have to keep in mind when people are giving you certain things, you know what I mean, and they got that one hand behind their back, you need to pay attention to what's behind their back.
But not only that, though, but by us talking about it now and being intentional, you know, and the people that are listening, it can make impact. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's somebody on here who's probably like, yeah, I never thought about it like that. So we're just going to speak positivity into that and just say we're going to go and we're going to do it big next year for sure. I will have something to speak on next year for sure. I promise you that.
So I'll say this, man. If we're blessed enough to be around this time next year, man, I want to come back with some great stories of what all you guys did for it, how you celebrated, how you uplifted, educated, and motivated each other, man. That should be the goal of Juneteenth in general. But with that said, man, looking at the time, let's go ahead and take us to our last topic that we're going to cover real quick today. This one is a little bit different. You're not going to get it in video form. I'm gonna actually go ahead and read it to you, and just so you guys know at home, man, this is a wild card to the panel. So one more time, just quick reset, man. Thank you everybody for rocking with us on the Roundtable Music Facebook group. Thank you to the people who are rocking with us on YouTube at Where It Began site or our ImodelBooth game sites. Again, we go live every Thursday at 8 p.m. to discuss all types of issues, man, from celebrity stuff to important things that are affecting our community. And trying to educate you in some shape, form, or fashion, man. We're just trying to get the conversations out there because if we don't talk about it, we can't make it better. And we got a lot of issues going on in this world. So with that being said, man, let me take you to another issue. I think this was kind of comical, kind of sad all at the same time. Some of the reactions going all over Facebook was a little crazy, but hold on. I'll slow down and explain why I read it to you. So this is called Baby Mama Drama. It reads, my daughter's father has a new girlfriend and a new job. He's doing really well. He always gives me money. He even helps with my other kids who aren't his. But since his new girlfriend came into the picture, he still gives me money and takes his daughter every weekend, but he brings the girlfriend. I don't like her, and I told him to break up with her. He won't, so now he's going on child support. What's a reasonable amount to ask the court? I'm a stay-at-home mom and would like to stay a stay-at-home mom. Also, my current boyfriend is a stay-at-home dad, and we need support since we aren't working. So it sounds like there's a few different kids in the mix of this whole thing, and just the fact that she's afforded by our legal system to wake up one day and make those type of decisions is kind of what I have a problem with. But I'm interested to hear you guys' opinion on the topic.
Theo,
male and female.
May I say something?
Please.
May I speak from my heart? And you know I love you. I do. These types of things just exhaust me. Like, where do you find this trash? Like,
oh, it's everywhere.
Where?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. This is the whole thing is preposterous. First of all, the grammar, but that we're not here for that. But it was simple. Just even the way that she delivered it, it sounds like someone wants us to talk about this. So let's talk about it. It's trash. What else do you want me to say? She's trash. Next, what else you got? It's trash.
Yep.
So you,
All right,
shoot.
I'm gonna say this. This should be like an example to all the young brothers. What happens when you don't practice safe sex? This is the price tag of when you don't practice safe sex. Cause this is what comes with it. You have kids with the wrong person and they want to be vindictive. They got ways to be very vindictive. So if she's gonna go on child support, that means that's just the beginning of a lot of problems, because they ain't gonna stop with you paying child support.
Well, now wait a minute.
That's all I'm gonna say to any like.
Oh, it don't. Yeah, it's not going in.
But here's my thought: is what I want to say, and this may be something, another segment that we can have. And Theo, just so you know, I do have someone who's an advocate and who could help us and give us some great knowledge of this. Is that young men need to stop allowing women to victimize them with the court, and you need to learn how to legitimize your children and how you can get not necessarily ownership, guardianship of your children, because this is an example.
Okay.
If he's the one who's working and he's the one who has the money, who's taking care of that child, he can legitimize that child and take that child from that trifling woman.
Maybe he still has to. He still hold on.
Trifling women are having kids with trifling men. You can't tell trifling men to step up. If they're having babies with trash, it is what it is. But they gotta pick better.
He's not trifling in this.
No. Hold on, son. Hold on. So we don't want to go out of pocket, right? We don't want to call people trash. Either side of the coin, man. If you're doing what you're doing for your personal business, I get it.
No, Theo, I don't think that's fair. I think
but what I
trying to do that's not. I feel that way. I stand behind that. If you are trying to take this man to court and hurting him because he has a girlfriend, that is, I'm sorry. I stand by what I say.
No. It's I don't think anybody's gonna look at it like she's gonna be mother of the year for this, right? But it does bring up a couple issues. Hold on, let me take a couple comments. She sound crazy. You say the drama for last. Yes, ma'am. We tend to do that. Also, agreed. Shade Queen Crawley. So Aziza is agreeing with you. But let me say this. Yeah, it's definitely dead wrong. It's definitely dead wrong. But I think more so the problem is on social media or as a people, right? We're galvanized to be man versus woman a whole lot right now. And we don't have, we don't have 24 hours to get fully into that whole discussion, but we'll break it down piece by piece as we go along over the weeks. But my point is this. She's in a system or a situation where the system will allow her to do that if she so chooses. And we never go back and look at the system and its part that it plays in allowing people to be able to make these decisions. Because whether you think she's, mother of the year, whether you think she is trash, like was mentioned, she's a person and she gets to make that decision herself. And I think it's unfortunate that she actually has that option. But again, if you take that away, somebody else is going to come for me and say, I'm taking away their freedoms. But go ahead, Synista. What you had to say on it?
I know, like you saying, don't talk about it and stuff like that. I'm speaking on my opinion. I think she's trash. I'm with you. Like, shorty's trash. That's trash. Like, that's like what goes around comes around. Like, I hope the best if you're gonna post some stuff like that. You're gonna use your kids to be vindictive over because your dude moved on. That's not cool. If a man did that, that's not cool. This not based on female or male. This is what it is in a nutshell. He went and found somebody else. So the best way for me to get back at him, let me use my child as a survival tactic. That's wrong. I would figure that's wrong in any culture, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. If you post something like that, if somebody knew that chick and knew she typed that, they're like, what? We got kids. If they old and grown and we found out their baby parents, their co-parents went and typed some stuff like that. She typed that and sent that somewhere, meaning she been plotting this stuff. She's using child support to plot on her co-parent and wonder why the family structure's messed up out here.
Let me ask you something, Theo.
A court shouldn't make people have child support. There should be communication to raise your children. How they do it back in the 1500s, the 1400s, they have courts to raise children.
Listen, man,
And
we're
now
gonna
we
come
got
back.
court systems, and now we're using court systems for
We're gonna come
babies
back
to
next
make
week.
a quick hustle.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're using babies to hustle us because I'm so mad at you, so I'm making a payday and get a check off of it.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
Think about that.
I'm rooting you out now, Synista. You gotta give other people a chance to talk, bro. You gotta give other people a chance to talk. Mac, CeCe, y'all weigh in on this, man. Y'all been awfully quiet up there, man. Let's get some opinion from the top row before we wrap this thing up in a minute. I know he got on a little late. He excited. He got to get it all in, but we're gonna work on a paddle system next week where you're gonna hold them up like you're at an auction. Go ahead.
Man, listen. I don't think it's anything to be said, bro. The proof is in the pudding, man. You see it right here on black and white, man. Mm-hmm. We know what's going down, man. So it's nothing to talk about, man. We see what this lady is doing to this man because another female, and it happens all the time, bro. Mm-hmm. Dudes get railroaded just out of jealousy, and it's ridiculous. That's all I gotta say.
What about you, CeCe?
And I think sometimes these women, they just go on social media and be bitter like that when they're in their feelings. It just sounds like she was in her feelings and she went in to say stuff like that because she was in her feelings. Sometimes they don't do what they say they're going to do, but at the end of the day, they just in their feelings, and the best way to vent or say something slick while they're in their feelings is to go to social media because they don't talk to nobody but social media. That's what these women and men do these days. They just go to social media when it's time to vent and do all that other stuff for other people to see.
Oh, I agree, and they get the crowd to move with them.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I'll go ahead.
I just a couple comments. First, when I heard this, the first thing I thought is her and her baby daddy. I mean, and her boyfriend and her 5-6 kids probably all live in one hotel room together. That's the first thing that came to mind. Second, I want to piggyback off of something you said, Theo, when you were saying that women have been empowered by the court system to be able to make moves like this. And it's interesting that you made that statement because in having a conversation with a friend of mine about how the court system works on behalf of females all the time, and it's true, I'm not denying that. But I think a lot of times people don't consider that most societies, and I'm going to say 95% of them, are set up in such a way that the men in society are taught to believe that it is their responsibility to provide for and protect women. And in the case that the man in a household decides that he does not want to do that or he is not capable of doing it anymore, then a lot of times court systems, as it is in this country, step in to provide protection and secure provision for women. Now, women take advantage of that all the time, and it is disrespectful at the least and disheartening even more so. So I feel for men who have to deal with bitter and vindictive women like this. I am someone who believes wholeheartedly that putting a person on child support when they're not in a position to provide is setting them up for failure. And it should only be used in situations where someone who is capable of providing refuses to provide. That's my thoughts on child support and how it should work. Right. I think, though, that I agree with you, April. More men need to start taking control of custody of their kids so that they don't have to be victim to women like her. I am not a proponent of taking kids out of a household where they're being cared for and provided for, and the parents are working together amicably, or even if they're not working together amicably, as long as the kid is taken care of properly. But in this situation, go get your baby. Go get your baby.
No, I agree.
And I guess Ricky Smiley talks about it a lot too. And like I said, I think it would be a great segment. Not to hijack your show, but I really feel that we talk about family a lot, you know, when we talk, me, you, and other people, and talk about the institution of marriage, and not just marriage, but just the family unit, the community. And it seems like there's more talk about women putting people on child support as opposed to some of these young men being given the resources so that they again can legitimize their children. This is a thing. Okay, people don't know that, you know. You're getting people's last names, but you're not necessarily being legitimized. Knowing what your rights are as young men, getting the legal counsel that you need. Now, does that take time? Does that take money? Yes. Does that take courage? Yes. But you made these choices, and now it's time for you to step up and take control of your life. And
I also think it's jacked up that dads have to pay money to legitimately claim their own child when they know that it's theirs. Like that to
absolutely,
me is
I
ridiculous.
agree. And there's a lot of
Can
things
I ask y'all? Can I ask y'all ladies something? What we seeing right here, is this normal or is this a rare thing?
What are we talking about?
What we talking about right now? What this female is trying to do? Do you feel this is a rare occasion, or you feel this is regularly happening across the United States?
It depends. I think it depends. It really does depend.
No, it's regular. It's happening way more often than a lot of women realize.
How long has, like, since child support?
We talk to each other and we tell each other one side of the story. Oh, he not doing this and he not doing that, but we hold in the bitterness because we don't want to look crazy to our friends. But then behind closed doors, vindictive, bitter, sourpuss females are really doing foul shit to dudes. So this is not abnormal at all, unfortunately.
And they're encouraged by their bubble. So when you ask that question, Synista, you got two different bubbles going on from the two ladies you posed that question to, and again, it goes back to what I was saying, man. People know and love what they believe that fits within their circle, right? Their own ideology amongst their group. They go with that mentality. So a lot of people, don't know that, but for me to answer your question, I don't know how much it happens. I don't have statistics and facts right here in front of me, but I know it's just not the lower income. I know it's not just the lower end of the scale, which is the way they paint that picture.
Absolutely, you're right.
As you go further up in income.
Yes.
But let me also say this as well. I suspect, and again, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I've been called that before, but I suspect one of the reasons why that information is put out to the women so that they can go in and claim that, just like they do for a lot of government benefits, right? They want to encourage the use of it. And the reason why you don't see it happen so much on the other side is because that's not the agenda that they want to push. They want to come under the veil of we're protecting our women, we're protecting our children. But at the same time, it's just a road that leads to the system that once some of these young men or older men get into, is very, very hard to get out of. And one day we'll actually take up the topic, man. When people say slavery is dead, go back and read the Constitution. Actually, the penitentiary system is the only form of slavery that's allowed in our country currently. Absolutely. So that's a whole deep thing to get into, man. If we get into, and people are like, why? Why would they do that? What's the agenda behind that? I'm going to say one thing. It's the same agenda as always. It's money. It's a double to triple digit billion-dollar industry that they make off of the families and the incarcerated inmates. When you're paying $24.99 to make a 5-minute phone call, your mama got to pay for that. Your baby mama got to pay for it. Your wife got to pay for it. Your dad, whomever, because guess what? You're only making 14 cents an hour, and it's big business and corporations come in and they get that almost free labor. And also the other side of it is there's always a kickback that actually goes to the local governments that are providing those services for the inmates. So, why would I charge you 2 cents to make a 5-minute phone call, which it probably actually costs, when I'm not going to get any revenue off of it? So that's kind of the problem with our legal system, man. The government shouldn't make money off of incarcerating people. You can't be fair in that situation. You're just doing things to generate more revenue.
So I just want to leave off by saying, please strap up. If you are not ready to be a parent, please make sure that you know that these are real issues that could affect you. If you're a young man who wants to legitimize your child, please seek resources. And young women, if you are out here being trash, do better.
Did she
Do
just
better.
do a condom
Do better.
commercial?
She did, man. She did.
And
Hey, we are looking
Who
for
you representing? Who you representing, Sean?
I was gonna say we're looking for sponsors, so hey, put us directly in contact.
Yeah.
All right, man. That brings us to a closure. What I'm gonna do real quick, man. So I'm gonna go around the horn, starting with Mac. And then I'm just gonna go in order. Mac, Synista, the chick that hustles, then Shade Queen, and give me some closing thoughts, man. Something that you learned today, or just whatever you got on your heart.
Oh, definitely, man. Just like I say, each one teach one. So definitely learned some good learning points today. Figured some things out that I might not have known. Definitely got enlightened on Juneteenth a little bit more than I knew. So I appreciate everybody's perspective on the panel today, and I appreciate it.
It is. We appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you. So Sinister, let me get you up here on the big screen. I think you got yourself muted. There you go. Get him a closeout.
Yeah, it's good to see my black folks, you know what I'm saying, discussing topics based on our black history, situations that's going on in our community. I think we really need to sit down and have these discussions, because clearly there's a gender war that's only going on in the black community. I don't see no gender wars in no other races. And I think that stuff, it just needs to stop, because we all complain about the same thing. And I hear the little one so about like that.
All right. Take a quick comment, man. Ziza said, I say this attitude is more common than people want to admit. It's just covert because it's trashy thing to do. Yeah. People don't necessarily brag about it, so I get where you're going with that. Let's see, a chick that hustles. Go ahead and give us some closeout.
So I just want to say, if you are between the ages of 20 and 30, sow your oats, have fun. Don't try so hard to settle down. If it happens for you, it happens, but don't force it. I want to say that because situations like this child support thing, they do arise. And I think if you wait until ladies and gentlemen are more mature to be in a relationship, you get a better outcome. Also, reparations now.
I feel you. I don't want to take us into a whole nother discussion. And I certainly agree with the sentiments that you just laid out. But I would add this: if you're not ready for a relationship, stop having kids. So, all right, Shade Queen, go ahead and close us out with some comments.
Amen. Yes. Stop having these kids if you don't want to do right. So 3 things. So I do agree with her. Young ladies, stay empowered if you know you're not ready, and young men too. If you're not ready to make a commitment, don't make a mistake. But if you're going to be out here putting your business out, then just know people are going to talk about you. And if you're okay with that, then good for you. Secondly, thank you for all the information about Juneteenth. In the future, I will be turning up. And I think that we need to teach our children ourselves about our history and be vigilant and intentional in that. And lastly, to women who are being vindictive, let me tell you something. What goes around comes around. You may feel that the men that you were with have abandoned you, or you may not like the father, but those children do still need to know their fathers, and stop trying to make it hard. It's not about you. It's about the child. And young men, empower yourselves and get access to your children. Fight for them. You fight for everything else. Fight for your kids. I'm done. And thank you for your time.
There it is. Thank you for your comments. All right, Queen CeCe, give us that closing argument.
This was really enjoying. I learned a lot today. And just listening to all the opinions and everything on this panel, and everybody, giving their opinions. This is awesome. I can't wait to see what next week is. Also, everybody, y'all tune in with us every Wednesday, music trivia, Thursday, the podcast, Sunday is music review. We have, this Sunday, we have Ghetto Ghosts. So y'all tune in, and if y'all want to volunteer, let us know. And thanks again for having me on here. I appreciate everybody that's been on here and rocking with us.
There it is. There it is. Listen, man. Before I get into the particulars, and we're gonna play this little outro, I'm just gonna say one thing, man. Register to vote. Everything that we're talking about could be changed. The future is not written, and they say that for a very specific reason. Everybody that you come across that tells you it's not cool to vote, it tells you it's not cool to be involved in your local government, that tells you it's not cool to be socially aware of these things, while at the same time spitting whatever social awareness rhetoric that they want to impress upon you. Take a step back, because as I told you, when a lot of people are telling you all the same thing, you got to think for yourself, man. You got to step back and remove yourself from the situation. I run across people all the time, especially in the industry, that are always telling people, man, I don't vote, that's not cool, I'm not going to do that. Ask a couple questions. Ask them when the last time they've been registered to vote, and when they tell you or don't tell you a date, ask them, can they register to vote? So one more time, man, it's Thursday, where we got the our round table talk podcast every Thursday starting at 8 p.m. Catch us on Sunday, as CeCe said, where we have a new artist with our dope new platform on the live panel music review. And again, catch us on Wednesdays for the world famous music trivia night show, man. But yeah, I enjoy these conversations, man. I'm glad it's something that we can get involved with. We definitely want to evolve the culture, man. We want to push everything forward. So thank you guys for tuning in with us. Definitely join the Facebook group Roundtable Music if you get a chance. And outside of that, man, everybody be safe, be blessed, and next year celebrate Juneteenth.